very good morning to you and welcome to the best way to have your cup of tea this morning. This is K24 this morning and my name is Mungala Mbuvi. We're just about to get into the newspaper review and look at what is actually currently trending as far as the headlines are concerned. But to all Americans out there, happy Thanksgiving. All right, let's get into that and let's start with the People Daily. By the way, you can dial *550 *4# for your copy of the People Daily, and for only 10 shillings a day, you do not need any data and no application to access the People Daily. And today, this is what you will find once you dial that number. Signature tune for a new Kenya. Well, all systems go. Pages 3, 4, and 5. That is what is currently on the paper. Uhuru and Raila formally launched public drive for approval of the BBI project. Another major step towards national referendum to amend the 2010 Constitution. You can see the president there and his co-principal as far as the BBI is concerned, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, former Prime Minister. Still on the paper, at the very top there, countdown to Maraga's exit. Full story is on page 8. Chief Justice expected to deliver his last State of the Judiciary address tomorrow ahead of his terminal leave, which begins on December 11th. Well, he's only counting a couple of days before his exit. How is that going to be? Still on the People Daily, how IEBC will create 70 more constituencies. As you can see there outlined the county and the number of new constituencies that will be added. Nairobi has 12, for instance. Kiambu has got 6, or rather will have 6 more. Nakuru 5 more, Kilifi 4 more, Mombasa 3, and so on and so forth. You can get the full story on page 5 of the People Daily. And on to some sad news. Football legend Diego Maradona dies at the age of 60. He was well known as the person who had the hand of God as far as football was concerned. More stories, of course, you can read on that on page 29 of the People Daily. Dial *550 *4# and you get it for only 10 bob. Moving on to the next one, this is the Daily Nation. Game on, that is the headline on the Daily Nation. The sweet deals, a bag of goodies for the political class, revised proposals on the police and electoral commission, fatty budgetary allocations to the counties, and 20 more constituencies for the vast Rift Valley. President Kenyatta and ODM leader Odinga are on a wooing spree for the BBI, but is it all hunky-dory in paradise? Well, get the full story on page 4 of the Daily Nation. And at the very top there, hand of God Maradona dies at the age of 60. Again, some very sad news. This will be discussed extensively even across other bulletins and on Interactive right here on K24 this morning. And still on the front page of the Daily Nation, signs of the times. Was it a Ruto no-show or Ruto no invite for KICC extravaganza? Some people call it the elephant in the room as far as yesterday's events were concerned at KICC. All right, 360, the total number of elected MPs in the BBI proposal. That is also a story you will need to read as far as the Daily Nation is concerned. And there are more, like you can see there, food and fuel prices to rise as Yatani's tax breaks end. And of course, Uhuru's fury as Kinoti is under fire for reviving poll violence cases. Full story is on page 6. Moving on to the Standard newspaper. Hand of God takes the king. Well, a very nice span there, if you ask me. But that full story is on page 48. Final whistle. Legendary Argentine footballer Diego Maradona dies at the of heart attack 2 weeks after he was hospitalized in Buenos Aires. He was aged only 60. But the headline says, let the people decide. And there's a caption there of President Uhuru Kenyatta signing, or rather penning his signature to the as they were launching the signature drive yesterday. And of course, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga also waiting to append his on to the document. The race begins. President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga kick off process to review the 2010 Constitution and sign bill proposing radical changes to the Supreme Law, pages 6 and 7. Full story right there. It says that 634, the projected number of MPs in the National Assembly and Senate, if the BBI bill passes, up from 416 that we currently have today. And still on the Standard, I was not invited to BBI signature launch. Ruto says that battle lines have been drawn. We shall discuss that one as well. Small towns turn into city bedroom. That is on the home and away pullout of the Standard. And lastly, Uhuru to Kinoti, think before you speak. Of course, the president was very angry and he lashed out yesterday at the DCI boss for reviving the Paul Kills cases that had somehow been forgotten by Kenyans. Lastly, on the Star, fresh BBI changes, Raila caught off guard. Well, absent Ruto tweeted that signatures launch did not close the door to consensus building. Full story on pages 4 to 5. Still on the Star, little-known Pokot Church where Raila and DP Ruto sought blessings, as stories on page 12 and 13. And at the very bottom of the same page, Uhuru to Kinoti, I won't allow you to revisit 2007 post-election violence cases. And new HIV infections dropped by 38%, but Kenya misses target, according to a report. The full story on page 10. An unfairly sacked blind laundry woman yet to be paid 300,000 shillings compensation. That story is on page 30. And lastly, we can still learn from the U.S. democracy, according to writer, journalist Wycliffe Muga. Get your copy for more on that story. All right, this is where we begin the conversation. Do let us know where you're watching from, and of course, we shall be engaging you on our question of the day. Catered for this morning starts right now. All right, allow me to introduce my panelists, and I will start with a resident orator, if I may say, Gabriel Muthuma, governance expert. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning, Bwana Mbuvi. How are you doing?
Mimi niko salama sana.
My only problem,
yes.
It's not a problem really, but I think we are celebrating this man. The curtain has finally fell on legendary soccer player, Diego Armando Maradona. Who can forget the 1996, the 1986 World Cup? And I've been telling people since yesterday, just go and watch that game on YouTube. You know, if you are watching from the semi-finals where they played Belgium into the final in Mexico, where they played Germany, the man was a legend.
Indeed.
And by the way, if you watch very closely, and I know, people are, like you said, people are going to be talking about him probably today and the entire remainder of the week.
Right.
He, the current Argentinian #1 guy,
Messi.
actually takes on from Diego. I mean, look at even the way he plays. It's a good thing. I hope the dreams of Diego will continue living through Messi. And he was a great guy. He was a great guy.
Good stuff. Oliver Karori, advocate of the High Court, karibu tena sana. When I was saying happy Thanksgiving, I saw you in agreement. Are you an American by any chance?
No, I'm a farmer. We celebrate harvest.
Okay. All right. Nice to have you on the show. And of course, we're joined via Skype by another governance expert, that is Millie Luanga. Millie, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, welcome to the show. We shall be getting to our discussion in a couple of minutes. Our discussion today is about the BBI referendum, the road to 1 million signatures, and are you for or against it? But before we start that one, President Uhuru Kenyatta has sent a stern warning to anybody attempting to disrupt the process of building bridges amongst Kenyans, saying, were it not for the handshake, Kenya would have been completely torn apart. Now, sentiments backed by ODM leader Raila Odinga. Now, the president made the remarks during the launch of the collection of the BBI signatures drive at KICC, which, according to the BBI Secretariat, will see Kenyans wishing to participate in the exercise do so at designated centers in their home counties, with the same also accessible through digital platforms. Diverson Minor now reports.
Collection of the BBI signatures has now started in earnest after last week's launch was cancelled owing to delays in publishing of the Constitution Amendment Bill 2020. The BBI D-Day was presided over by President Uhuru Kenyatta, who together with his BBI co-principal Raila Odinga in front of the cameras appended their signatures to the document that has taken more than 2 years to prepare.
What we are doing is just starting, and just starting with that is most critical. Dealing with the issues that make us consistently fight, the issues of inclusion and inclusivity, dealing with the issues of ensuring equitable resources, dealing with the issues of ensuring that money reaches the lowest level possible, dealing with the issues of corruption and governance. These are the things that make people fight. These are the issues that we are dealing with at this stage. Fellow Kenyans, let's come together. Sort that out.
Things that have gone into this, a lot of thoughts have gone, very many brains have worked on this. Some of the best brains in this country have been working together with the committee of, with the steering committee. And this is the result.
Referring to the 2007-2008 post-election violence, President Kenyatta noted that if it were not for the March 2018 handshake, Kenya would have been brought to its knees.
Shida ambazo tulizipata baada ya uchaguzi wa mwaka 2017. Na tukaona ya kwamba hii ni shida ambaye kila wakati ambapo tuko na uchaguzi, badala ya kutoka kwa huo uchaguzi wa Kenya wakiwa pamoja, mara nyingi tuamaliza uchaguzi wa Kenya wakiwa wamegawanyika.
We have gone through the wilderness of anger and marginalization. We can see the promised land ahead.
In the process of collecting the aimed 4 million signatures, Kenyans will get a chance to append their signatures at the designated centers in their home counties. Further, the process has been made easy for those who can access internet, as they will be able to sign the document online via BBIsignatures.org. You will then be required to confirm that the information provided is correct before clicking on the Endorse tab.
Is www.bbisignatures.org. So if you log into that website, you will be able to sign like another person who's signing physically, and your signature will be valid and it will be used.
To sign the document, you'll be required to record your official name, the national ID or passport number, telephone number, an email address, your gender, your home county, your constituency, ward, and your polling station. It's now all systems go as the first phase of the BBI process begins. The BBI Secretariat expected to collect the signatures in 7 days, after which IBC will verify the signatures before the bill moves to county assemblies for debate. Give us Minor, K24, at KICC, Nairobi.
Well, there you have it. We've been talking about it for weeks now, months maybe, and finally, there you have it. You can go onto the online platform and sign. But here's our question of the day. Are you for or against the BBI report, and why? Are you for or against the BBI report, and why? K24 TV across all social media, and right on your screen is our WhatsApp number. Please let us know your thoughts. And I will start with you, Millie Luanga, as far as the conversation for today is concerned. The road to 1 million signatures. We have about, they say they're targeting 4 million signatures, but the country has more or less, give or take, about 19 million voters. Why are they underplaying this? Is it that they do not have confidence in getting all 19 million voters to sign on to this one? Or, what could be the issue? All right, Millie, kindly unmute on your end. We can't hear you.
Sorry,
good?
I'm saying that I have a bad connection. I'm trying to manage it.
All right, now we can hear you, yes.
You can hear me now.
Yes.
Now, what I would like to say about the signature collection is that the requirement by law is they need to get 1 million signatures, and you can remember the last time they got just about that, if I remember correctly.
All right.
And IEC was unable to verify some of those signatures because of the nature, and a lot of questions were raised then as to whether IBC actually had the capacity to verify the signatures, because what they can do is verify that this is a registered voter. Now, for the Ekuru Okot initiative, which was the Punguza Muzigo, they were able to again raise over 1 million signatures, and IBC was able to confirm that all those were registered voters.
All right.
And the process was able to move. Now, when we come to the BBI initiative, I think the whole process has been extremely politicized from the word go. And that has been largely to the detriment of Kenyans, who I think many would like to have the process conclude so that we would be able to benefit from the gains sooner rather than later.
Right.
So because of the politicization of the process, I think that is why it is key to get more votes than more signatures than even required by law, just so as to make a statement. Because currently, the deputy president still remains in his flip-flop position, where he says that he's supporting, he wants an uncontested referendum, but at the same time, he says he still wants some discussions on issues which are not clearly articulated by either himself or his key persons who speak normally, and when they speak, we believe that they speak on his behalf or for him. So that still gives a little bit of questions as to whether he's really impacting. I think he is enjoying the focus that his hesitation brings to this process.
All right, thank you very much, Millie, for that. Still coming back to you, don't go too far. Gabriel, there is, what if they actually get these 4 million votes that they are targeting, or even 1 million votes, the threshold that is needed? What would happen if we discovered, because I can see there they said you write your constituency, you know, your ID number and so on and so forth. What if we actually discover that 1 million of these signatures, assuming it's just 1 million that they get, are all from one region, say the coastal area or the Rift Valley region, and the rest of the country did not even participate? What would that mean for this process?
Well, by the way, that would be something interesting, so to speak. But like Millie has said, first of all, you look at the process. So far, the process is okay because IEBC okayed it, and yesterday we saw this, you know, the opening of the signatures. When I've looked at the website, you know, I've not seen the hard copy where people are signing, but I've looked at what the website proposes. And you know, it takes almost all the fields that you filled when you went to register for to vote. So it has all those fields in them, and I would assume that when it comes time to verify, because IEBC must then again go back and verify those signatures and whether the data in those forms are correct, because they must, at the very least, I hope they will verify your signature and your ID. So your question is actually very pertinent. What if they come from one region? What does it say? Then I think what must happen, or what I foresee happening, is that the BBI proponents must go out and popularize this document. There's something that we all have to agree with, is that the conversation must go on. And when you're going to popularize it, of course, you will be going with, this is what it means. You will have those opponents saying, you know, if you don't understand it, probably they'll have people there trying to explain to you why this, you know, must be the document that changes how we do things, how we are governed. And, you know, we are not looking at one particular element of governance. We are talking about administration. We are talking about policy, like I told you last week. So there are so many bits and pieces that, that many people, probably when it came out yesterday, many people are still wondering, is this the original document? Has anything changed? And when you look at, you know, they are saying there has been some hasty retreats, like the issue of 7 extra constituencies, the police council, you know, some of the things that, including the president saying that he met offline with the church leaders. You know, he brought that forward. And, you know, he insisted, if there's one thing we all agree as Kenyans, is that God is, you know, the convener of this process. So there are things that we are agreeing from the onset. But when we come down to the nitty-gritty of this process, one thing will remain, and that is the people will decide. That, to me, is, you know, this is where it will go back to the people. The things that need to be changed administratively through parliament, so be it. But at the end of the day, it will come down to the people, where they'll make a choice. Can we have what many people are asking for, whether it's uncontested or not? Personally, I still think you'll have a big number of people who probably may not be for the document, and you'll have also a large number of people who will be for the document. So that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it will go to the decision that will be made by Wanjiku.
Oliver, let's address an elephant in the room, where we obviously have seen across a lot of these newspapers. The deputy president wasn't at this particular event. Well, we don't know whether he was invited or not, because some sections say that he wasn't invited, others say that he just didn't show up. What would you make of that situation?
It talks to the hypocrisy of building bridges. from the top echelons of this country, because if BBI cannot unite 3 people, it will take magic to unite 48 million Kenyans. And you have to realize that we largely remain personality-dominated politics, whereby if we support Mongala Mbuvi and he's not on the table, we are not on the table. That is the unfortunate part of our politics and the kind of democracy Africans embraced in this part of the world. But I saw something like an itinerary that was shared on social media yesterday. I didn't see his name there. So which means
he wasn't invited.
He wasn't invited, because if I do not have you in the itinerary, it means I have not invited you, because he's the number 2 in the country, and if he's in a function where the president is, he has a duty to invite the president to address the nation. So when I couldn't see his name there, I concluded, just like any other person, that he was not invited. And that goes to express the hypocrisy and the mediocrity we do in this country. You cannot tell the world we are in a process that we are bringing people together, and you fail to invite a leader of William Ruto's caliber to that discussion. It means then, using our democratic model, that there are some people who are not in that discussion table. And Mongala, what we are amending is a constitution, or what we are repealing rather is a constitution. And a constitution is a negotiated document. It is the constitution of Kenya that unites all the national tribes to form the republic known as Kenya. Anytime you have a certain part of the nation not on the table, let's say the religious groups, let's say the pastoralists, let's say the people with disability, that is the beginning of a problem. And it will not make sense to go to a referendum and it becomes hotly contested more than the election we are curing. You know, we are still in the process of curing the election in 2017. But if today we are to go to a contested referendum, more contested than the last election, it will mean that this process was to a note. There is nothing that
it's making the situation worse.
And then again, it was not of any value to build bridges.
I want to ask Millie on the same. Millie, the fact that the deputy president wasn't, present at yesterday's situation, we can see obviously it's speaking volumes. Does it affect the whole conversation of having national dialogue?
Sorry, I didn't get the last part of the question.
The deputy president wasn't there yesterday during the signature launch. Does it affect the whole process of national dialogue, as has been proposed several times during this process?
Yes, it definitely does, because he's a key figure. He's a key political leader with a huge amount of following and a huge amount of people who are interested in understanding what his thoughts are. And remember that it has been stated many a times that Kenyans are poor readers of anything, including documents that are going to affect their lives. Now, most of the time, we like to hear what direction the leaders are taking in certain matters and what their feeling is. Now, when we are not very clear as to what exactly the position of the deputy president is, it becomes an issue of concern, because when he's missing in action, when his name appears or his seat appears and he's missing, it is an issue of concern to both those who like him and even to those who do not like him, because he is a person of importance in the country. And I think that it would behoove him as the deputy president to begin to show clearly what his stand is in as far as the process of the referendum is concerned, because we will judge him. We will judge him come 2022. He has made it very clear that he is going to be on the ballot as either the Jubilee candidate or whatever candidate he will, whatever party he will stand with. But we know that he will be in the ballot, and he is in government now. And the less acrimony we have around this process that really must go, and the train that has already set off, the resources and the time and the energy that we are using on it will be directly related to his actions. Because if he seems not to be part of the team that supports the referendum, then his lieutenants continue to speak very loudly against it, and the country continues to think that it is a process that really is not an agenda that the top leadership of the country thinks is an agenda that we should all be heading towards.
All right.
And people it remains contested, and a lot of resources, time, a lot of waste is put into it, whereas it could go process that.
Okay, Millie, we apologize for the disconnection that we're having there, but we'll still be coming back to you if you can hear me. Do not go too far. We are still trying to reconnect with her. Gabriel, let me come back to you. The issue of inclusivity, the 2/3 gender rule, the winner takes it all situation, the creation of the prime minister position, equitable distribution of resources, the issue of uniting the country. Have these issues been solved now that we have this, bill with us and we are now signing on it?
You know, the document is still a bill. It has not passed. It has not gone through, the referendum for it to be cleared for those wants to be included in our constitution. But, there's something that you've asked Wakili and Millie, and I think it's also good that I also, give my thoughts on it.
Yes.
The issue about inviting the deputy president, I think that was just more of a blunder than the blunder of what the president talked about when he said, where he talked about the people who are reawakening the ghost of the 2007, 2008 electoral violence.
Yes.
It is, if we are looking at an amazing document such as the BBI signing, it was a very momentous event.
Okay.
And the best somebody could have done is you can invite this figure. It would rather that he doesn't show up, but do the invitation.
Yes.
So I think, like Millie said, if we are looking to uptake this event, that we are going throughout the entire country to bring people together, it should start where the leaders are talking with one another.
Okay, just hold it there, and we shall revisit that conversation about the fact that Kinoti did say that he's going to be, he has new evidence and so on and so forth. But this is our question of the day. Are you for or against the BBI, and why? Are you for or against the BBI report, and why? In case you're still wondering on some of the pointers, you can get them on the People Daily. Dial *550*4# for only 10 bob. You do not need an app. You do not need any data. You'll get the paper right on your phone. We'll be right back.